up and welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna call this Hot Topic Thursday, even though it's not Thursday and even though it's not really a hot topic. But you guys, I made a post on Facebook talking about whether or not you guys should lie on your credit card income statement, and I know a lot of people don't know usually what to put there, and I'll tell you guys my personal story real quick before I get into this on Facebook. But basically, when I was a student, which was not too long ago, about 2 years ago, I was not making that much money. I was working with kids with disabilities and I was making what, like $200 every 2 weeks. It was pretty bad. It was like $100 a week. Yeah, it was like $5,000 to $6,000 a year. That's what my income was when I first started 2 years ago. A lot of things have changed since then, but I feel like if I applied for a credit card and put that down, I would have gotten rejected. And the reason why I say that is because I had a buddy who also was not making any money and he applied for the Discover It card. He's one of like the most honest people I know, and I was telling him, look, Javi, put your estimated income after college. Don't put your income that you have right now for your Discover card. Guys, I kid you not, I've never seen anything like this, but my buddy got denied for the Discover It student card. I think that's like the first data point to exist in the history of credit cards. He actually got denied for a beginner Discover card. They didn't even give him like a $500 credit limit. So I told him, look, you can go for a secured card next, but he was just like, look, man, if I'm not getting accepted for their lowest tier of the credit cards, then I'm just not even gonna bother. It's kind of funny actually. There are a couple reasons why you guys actually want to increase your income level on your application. We're gonna be talking about the disadvantages. What will happen if you get caught? Is there consequences? Is this a bannable offense? Will you go to prison for the rest of your life and get a $10,000 fine? We're gonna figure all of this out, but before we do, I wanna say thank you all for tuning into this channel. We hit 11,000 subs just recently and it means so much to me, you guys. The Facebook group is literally popping. I see notifications every single day, so thank you. So thank you all for the support. I freaking love every single one of you guys. So I'm gonna actually start my screen recording on my computer. All right, so we're gonna open up this post, you guys, because there are 123 comments on this post. I'm not gonna be able to go through all of them. So the way I'm gonna determine which ones I'm gonna read about is the ones with the most amount of likes. Because if I went through 128 comments and gave you guys my thoughts on each one of them, this video would be half an hour long at least. We'll start with the first one. Brandon Mahler. He says, yes, you should lie on your credit card income statement. And the reason is if you have a lot of debt, lying will decrease your debt to income ratio, which is favorable, but also no in the case where you have enough credit with a specific creditor for them to audit your taxes. I like this answer because you're kind of just sitting on the fence. You're not really devoting to one thing. And before I even start this video, I want to give a disclaimer. Everyone who says yes and lies, bag them up, Amex. Let's get them. We got them. Bag them. It's like, nah. Everyone who's saying yes, hypothetically, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I'm going to share with you guys exactly why it doesn't even matter at the end of the video. Yes, what he said, the first part is true. If you guys size up your credit limit, which means if you're making $5,000 a year and you say you make $15,000 or $20,000 a year, there's a few benefits to that. You guys have a higher chance of getting accepted for that credit card. On top of that, you also have a better chance of getting a larger credit limit line. If you're someone who's very iffy about paying off their balance and you want to keep that utilization under 10%, 3%, even 1%, which will increase your score, a lot of the times having a higher income will allow you to get that higher credit limit for your account, and basically that means your utilization will decrease, and then what that means is your credit score will go up. So basically lying on your credit card income application could in theory help your credit score because of the utilization factor. Okay, I like David Brown's comment because he's super he's like, nah, like you shouldn't, so I like this guy. He says, lie. Why in the world would you lie when they can easily request income verification? They should start making it a requirement, honestly, when you apply for a card. Send in W-2s or pay stubs. It could save you a lot of hassle, especially for CLIs, which is credit limit increases. They would know your income supports your credit line. Okay, so David, one of the reasons why they do not actually go through everyone's pay stub, that's just too much work. If everyone has to submit something for a credit card, so think about it like this, credit card companies are actually benefiting a lot more when someone signs up for a credit card, if we have to go through an extra layer and pull out last year's pay stubs and go through all like a whole nother process, it just deters more users for signing up for credit cards. A lot of the times they will actually not request for an income verification. It has not happened to me. The only time that happens, and that is actually called a financial review, is if you do something stupid on your account. If you do something called manufactured spending, where you go out and buy gift cards to get yourself points and then reload and do that, you can get a financial review. If you go crazy with the spending limit power, which I did by accident in a video, they will actually run a financial review on your account too, just to verify things so you're not going to run off with all their money. That actually happened to Sebastian over at Ask72, and he made a video on it a while ago when they asked him for a financial review. If you guys do things that raises a lot of red flags for these accounts, then yes, this will happen to you. But if you're someone that just gets these credit cards, use them like they're meant to be, I would not worry about it. Now, for the most part, financial reviews aren't that bad. You just have to send in some type of verification and some document. They do hold all your cards, like you can't use your cards during that time they do the review, and sometimes it takes a while for them to happen, but usually once you get it done, it doesn't happen again. And this system also works for many different platforms like Facebook if you're an advertiser on there, and I've had a ton of experience on Facebook, and this is what I was told from them. I believe the way that their risk factor algorithm applies to American Express as well. Every one of these companies have a certain risk factor for each profile. So say, you know, Brian Jung's got his credit cards, but I start doing some shady activity. I'm buying things like all over the state. I'm sending my money over to China. You know, I'm buying like a whole bunch of like gift cards, and I'm going to 7-Eleven every single night for $500 purchases. The algorithm is going to increase my risk level. And what I believe is if you hit a certain threshold for that risk level, that's when that financial review triggers. So I wouldn't worry too much, you guys. I don't think doing one thing is going to trigger it, because like I said before, I did the whole spending limit thing where I was like clicking the spending limit to see how much I had on my gold card, and I put it up to like 30K, and nothing still has happened to me, knock on wood. David, I really appreciate your comment. I like that opinion right there. So a lot of people did respond to it, you guys, and you know, there's some memes in here. It's pretty funny. Let's scroll down. Kibiria says, I would say combine your whole household income and LOL instead of lying. Okay, this raises a very good point, and this is what I mention a lot on my channel as well. Don't think about as lying, you guys. You're not essentially lying if you have a mentality or a mindset of something you didn't really know, or something you weren't sure of. So instead of just putting what your income is right now as a student, think about all the assets and all the investments you have. Say you have $20,000 in stocks right now, and you're getting a dividend return of like $5,000 a month. And I know those numbers don't really match up, but hypothetically, let's say that. So say you're getting $5,000, does that go towards your income? There is like a gray area. They're not exactly asking for exactly how much you're making at that moment. Think about it like this too. Say you just got out of college and you've done your internship and you secured the job, and you know you're gonna get paid a $60,000 salary for a corporation, but at the moment you don't have that money and it hasn't actually rolled in yet. Would you put that income of what you're gonna make that year, or would you put your income last year as a student where you didn't have a job and you were in school? This is a gray area, and I believe one of the keys to this is to figure out how you're gonna talk yourself into it if you do get a financial review. So this person mentioned household income. That completely is fine too. That is a-okay. They're not asking for just your income. If you have family members living in here, if you got your grandpa living in the house, if you got other cousins and brothers and people, you can combine your household family. So if anything ever does happen, you could just be like, yo Jimmy, yo mom, could I get your financial review statement from last year? Could I get your bank taxes? And just submit that, and the financial review is over just that quickly. So don't think you're limited to just yourself. This really isn't a gray area, and that's why there are 123 comments on this. This is based on what your perception is. If you're someone that doesn't want to risk that, you know, Steph Curry 3-point shot with 5 seconds left on the clock, you're someone who likes to play the safe, you always make sure the chances you take are very minimal, then definitely, of course, you're going to be someone like David up here. But if you're someone that knows where, look, I'm someone that's good at talking, I understand the rules, and these are a little bit of the loopholes around the rules, then that's completely fine. But there is a spectrum to this. You have to figure out whether or not how far you are on this spectrum. income and how that works. But I'm gonna get into some really exciting things towards the end of this because people are asking me, what should I put? I'll tell you guys exactly what you should put regardless of how much you make at the end of the video. But continuing down, we're gonna be talking about Zelda because I see hers a lot. I base my income off of 80% of my real income. That way they are surprised if they ask for proof. I've never seen anyone actually report something lower than what they make, but she must be making a good amount of money, Zelda, because I've never heard of that. Maybe you're a fan of the 80-20 principle because I love that principle, but that's something I personally don't do. JP Seal here comments, when they asked household income, I assume they meant my entire apartment complex. Boy! JP, you are a clown for that, bro. That's pretty funny, man. So that kind of reinforces what I mentioned. It's a gray area, you guys, because that's what they ask for, what your household income is, and on top of that, assets, what you have. Okay, and guys, I don't want to get too grim here, but if someone in your family passes away, are you going to inherit any of their properties, any of their wealth? Where does that money go to? So you guys really have to think outside of the box when it comes to this, especially when you're not making the income that you think you have right now that's going to qualify you for the best APR, the best credit limit, and get you approved for that card. When they asking for income verification, y'all lying, they're going to sprinkle that band dust right on you. I really don't think it works like that, in my opinion. They're not just going to ban you guys. Express, Chase, Capital One City, they're all big companies. They're not looking to just ban and punish out their customers just because you put a little bit more of your income than you do make. And honestly, you guys, they make a lot of money too every time we use our credit card because of that transaction fee. And if you go over your APR or your balance and you start paying them, they're making a ton of money. So they're not likely to start banning people because people exaggerate what their income is. I'm telling you, credit cards have been out for a while and most people exaggerate their income. That's just the way it is. If I had a statistic out there and it was anonymous and I told people, put your honest answer, did you exaggerate your income? Most of them will say yes. I would say at least 60 to 80% of people have exaggerated their income. A lot of people want to be making more money than they are right now. Whether you're making the average median salary for that area or whether you're working at McDonald's, or you could be a CEO, people always just want to put their higher income. I'm going to talk about Sunil's comment right here. It's important to be honest with income, but it's totally okay to include alternative income sources. In my case, scholarships qualify as income. I like that. So I list that under the non-taxable field. I've passed income verification with Chase and spoke with Amex representatives to confirm that alternative indirect income like that are totally okay and even encouraged to be included. I really like that, Sunil. Congratulations on your scholarships as well. I think that's an awesome comment right there. Okay, Myung says, I don't lie, lying is a sin. I like that, 100%. But you're not technically lying if you're including different household incomes, if you're including different assets that you know you own, if you include different dividend returns, and if you include different things that justify that income that you put, you're not technically lying. I would just say this, you guys, have a way to justify for what you're putting down. If you can do that, you're completely fine. Sergio right here has put a long thing. I'll read this one just because he has a little badge next to his name too. This is the visual storyteller badge. So if you share a lot of images or videos that provide value in the group, you actually get this badge. Sergio says, I think we lie to better our outcome. I'm sure there's an algorithm when applying for credit cards. Assuming that they do, they usually have a set limit when we are inputting that info down. So they make sure it's not too low where they have to deny it automatically or too much in case they need to verify for where it's true. Very awesome point, and it is true. There is an algorithm going to work at this. If you're too low, 100% you're going to get automatically denied. If you're too high, if you say you make $1 million, you're pushing it and they're going to ask for some type of proof. But here's the algorithm, you guys. It is the median income salary for that general demographic area. If you live in New York City where the average income is $60,000 to $80,000 compared to like the bum hills of Kentucky or Alabama where the average income salary there is like $25,000 or $30,000, that's where the algorithm is going to play. Now, this is not confirmed, but this is what has been told in the Reddit community and in the MyFICO forums. If you guys do a little bit of research, it is the median income for your your area. I live in Montgomery County towards the Rockville area right outside of DC. In my city particular, the median household income just for this area is about $100,000. 15 minutes down the road to a more poverty-stricken area, the median income over there is like $50,000, $60,000. So it depends on where you are, but I believe the way this works is that when these credit card issuers ask for your zip code and your address, the algorithm can calculate where you live and then what that income should be around that area. And if you're really low, if you're not even close to the median salary, then they're just gonna deny you anyway. But if you are low, what you guys can always do, just ring them up and tell them your situation. Hey, my name is Brian. You know, I got this new YouTube channel coming up. I'm not making any bread right now, but maybe in a year or two I will be. So if you have this opportunity, please let me get this credit card. That's an option, you know, that's something I could say. Brody Bell says try to keep it close or round up or down with a couple $1,000s or so. That's completely fine in my opinion. Matthew up here, he says I don't lie on apps. Completely fine. Casey right here, he says, would you consider lying if I used last year's income? I had a great income consulting last few years, but quit that business a couple months ago to take some time off to travel. So Casey, to answer your question, it is completely fine to use your previous income. I think people often neglect there are a lot of huge ups and downs. For me personally, like I said, I was making $5,000 to $6,000 just 2 years ago, and my income has drastically changed since that happened. And maybe next year, all my businesses fail, people stop watching my YouTube videos, my digital marketing agency crashes, and I'm at $0. A lot of things happen, and we don't even know when the next recession is gonna happen. It is definitely okay, and it's not suspicious at all if your income is changing, but I wouldn't say apply for a Chase Inc. business cash card right now and have an income of $80,000, and then your next card, like a month later, it's down to like $40,000 or half of that. That raises questions, especially when you're applying within that same credit card issuer. So this is what I recommend. If your last year's income is different from this year's, that's completely fine, because for the most part, you should have your tax returns to verify that if you ever do get a financial review. But people need to understand this, financial reviews do not happen that often. If you guys stretch your income just a little bit, they're not gonna throw your butt in jail. That's not how it works. They're not gonna fine you like that. Just like I stated in the beginning of the video, if you're not sure about what your income is and you're really making a little bit of money, think about what you're projected to make if you can secure a job. Look at that salary for that job you're intending to get if you're a student, and also take into consideration your parents' household income if you still live with them. On top of all of that, you guys, make sure you look at that median income salary. I wouldn't go less than $20,000 of what that median is for that area in my opinion, but I have gotten approved for credit cards when I had an income of $5,000, of $10,000, and I would actually put on my applications like $10,000 to $15,000, and I definitely should not have gotten accepted, but this is dependent on what card you're going for. If I'm trying to get the American Express Platinum card, I'm making $5,000, that makes no sense. Obviously, they're gonna deny you because you're not gonna have enough money to either pay that annual fee or to even reap the benefits. It just doesn't add up. But if I'm going for a subprime card like Citi, Capital One, or Discover, then hell yeah, that makes sense. It's okay not to have that much money right now. It's okay to not have the income where you're expected to have, but take into consideration all the options you guys have. Okay guys, that was really this video. That was wrapping it up. If you guys wanna add on to this conversation even more, just join our Facebook group and just search any of the keywords that you saw for this thread, you guys. We are called the Credit Society. Just put that in on Facebook. We should be that first result coming up. But that is it. I'm not gonna go over each one of the comments that I saw in here. This video would just be too long. But I hope you guys learned a couple things from me. I hope you guys learned a couple things from the community and everyone who's inputting things and putting things into the Facebook group and commenting on my videos. And the people that always comment on my videos first, Jigme, I don't know how I say your name. Jigma, Jennifer Smith, and a couple other guys, Blackham TV. There's always this one guy that does the 100 emoji on my thing with the flex emoji. Shout out to you. Thank you guys so much for help supporting this channel. If you guys do want to support this channel even further, you guys can check the affiliate links listed down in the description below. We also have different resources on our blogs and on the Facebook group as well. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash that like button right now. I want to see this video get 500 likes. It's probably not gonna happen, but let me see if it gets 500 likes because I've never gotten that many likes on a video. So let's shoot for some goals. Let's keep killing it, you guys. And if you enjoyed this video, I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.
Stand ていたはずの夢はいつも思い出せない。